Hello, hello.
George?
Hey,
Has anybody been able to hear me?
I don't know. I can hear you just fine.
Okay, wait. Everybody that's on this call, I've been talking for about 10 minutes. Have y'all not heard me? Yeah. All right. Talk about wasting your breath. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. I guess I was muted somehow. Man, that's kind of embarrassing. I was running my mouth about everything and how nobody was asking questions, et cetera, and y'all couldn't hear me. Okay. That's a heck of a Friday, right?
Yeah. I didn't know we were having one of these today, but that's just
This
I did
is
one last week.
this is the second makeup webinar from Tim dropping the ball while he was on vacation and not being able to get into the system.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So this is a makeup.
All right. Well, I'm on the road, so if you'll I'm going to mute myself when you're talking, and so if you'll read the questions. I mean, if there's questions, you're going to have to do double duty.
Yeah. Man, I wish I had a mute button. Sometimes I wish I had a mute button for you when we were sitting around talking. No, I'm just.
I know.
All right. So one of the announcements I was making that you guys couldn't hear was that this weekend, or by Tuesday, the vast majority of you are going to receive an email from us telling you that your subscription has expired and you need to renew. What that's going to do is, in order to reactivate your account, you're going to have to begin to pay $29 a month. Now, if you were part of the original class, which means if you've been a part of Flip That Contract since July of last year or earlier, this change will not affect you. So if you were part of the October, the December, the January Expo class, or the March class, you will begin to pay $29 a month if you need continued access to the portal. Those of you that joined in June, there's no change because you're already paying $29 a month. George and I do not necessarily want all of you to continue to pay us $29 a month. That's not the point. It's just, this takes our time. We like to make money for our time. And also, we're looking to thin out the crowd, so to speak. We want to focus on fewer people and be able to just make sure that we're following up and following through with what we're supposed to do. George, do you have anything to add on all that, or is it pretty self-explanatory?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to help people that are, that are doers, and part of this is, we're here to help you, and I hope that you see the value in this, and being able to kind of ask us questions on these calls, and be able to post questions on the portal. But some of you guys are moved on, and this isn't for you, and that's kind of what this is. We want to help people that want to be helped, and that are going to participate on these calls. And for those that are, that you've gotten what you wanted out of this, that now's the time to make a decision to continue or to move on with your endeavors.
Yeah, I like Randy McFeely just chatted. He said, highway robbery. Oh, I love Randy. All right, so we'll move on to questions. I think we've made our point. So Joanne asked, oh, I'm sorry, I read something different. I know it isn't usual of all of REI, but I can make something off this. I'm going to try. There's someone I know who has someone looking for, sorry, I'm going to ignore this. Someone looking for raw land for an investment to hold on to for 5 to 10 years, looking in Collin or Denton County. Yeah, I don't know anyone for that. Raw land, Collin, Denton County, someone looking for raw land. I mean, it just depends on how much they're looking for and where exactly and what price point. I mean, raw land in Collin, Denton County could run you as little as $500 an acre or as much as $50,000 an acre or even up to $500,000 an acre. So that's just too broad of a, you probably don't have someone that's that serious if they're, if that's the only criteria you have. Cheryl asked, I got laid off 6 months ago and need to work this in. Oh, the bill date will be the 4th. It'll be the first week of the month, probably.
So are they going to have to register, or are we going to bill everyone until they say not? That's where I'm a little confused.
No, they'll actually have to register. So what will happen is their account will be reset as suspended, and when they try to log in, it will give them we're going to send you an email with the link just so you don't have to go through this whole suspended thing. But if you try to log on, it'll say your account's suspended. Please click here to reactivate your account, and then you'll put in information and the recurring billing will begin. Yeah, because we don't already have a recurring billing product, and we don't store their credit card information. So the recurring billing will be 30 days. So if you decide to do the $29 a month on the 10th of the month, then on the 10th of every month, you'll get billed. No, you do not. No, the old timers do not have to create a new username and password. I can't believe Jaime just called himself an old timer. No, nobody will have to create a new user account and password. The same accounts, everything. Past webinars are underneath coaching call Q&A webinars. George, it's kind of dead on this end today. Nobody's asking anything.
Yeah, that was like last week. There's a couple. I mean, it was a 30-minute webinar, so.
Holiday weekend?
Well, I don't know.
No, that's what Joanne just said. She said it's a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, heck, if I'd have known it was going to be a 30-minute webinar, I could have met my client and went and picked up a key. I bought a house this morning, and I got to go pick up the key. It's a goofy house, George. It's a townhome in Farmers Branch, right at Webb Chapel and Beltline.
Okay. It's a townhome, huh?
Yeah, it's a townhome, but I mean, Lord have mercy. It's
Oh, is it on the south side? It's on the south side of.
No, it's off of. It's on the east side of Webb Chapel, south of Beltline.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Well, do you need to do anything? I'm heading over right there. So.
No, the guy works in Wiley, and he's got to go to Garland to pick up the key. I'm going to meet him up near Firewheel.
Okay.
It's weird.
Well, what was the type of seller? Was it a probate, or was it just
probate?
Yeah.
This guy had. Let's see. It's a 322 townhome. The rents are like $1,300 a month. The problem is there's an HOA, and so the HOA dues are $260 a month. So you have to back that out. So basically, we ran our numbers. We went low on the rent because there's just not much rent activity over there. It's a small community. So we just took the rent. We figured that the investor is going to end up netting about $1,000 a month after HOA dues, and
Okay.
and then from there, we just ran our numbers off of that. So I mean, the house needs $25,000-$30,000, and we picked it up for 38. So
Yeah.
we'll see what the market tells me a townhome's worth.
Yeah.
Jaime, Houston went great. Cheryl, if you have questions about the actual probate list that George puts out, you'll need to email him and ask him the specific questions because, I mean, George, can you close your eyes and picture the probate list that y'all put out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so she's asking, are the ones that do not have full information at the bottom, these are the ones that do not own real estate?
Correct. Well, what we do, Cheryl, is we run it against the appraisal district and balance it to see if there's any matches via the owner's name or any address that we picked up in the probate. So it really comes down to, hold on one second, I'm trying to figure out if I need to turn there, yeah. It comes down to the ones that don't have any information are the ones that we didn't identify that they had real estate. They're still postings, but we didn't identify that they had real estate, at least in that county.
And then Cheryl says she saw an article in today's paper stating that foreclosures are dropping. This is strange because last month they said they were up about 12% over last year. Any thoughts on which one is correct?
I think that they're dropping. I mean, we had a pretty significant drop this month. I think the worst is over, and I think that we're going to see, the number, the number of banks, I think it's going to start thinning out a little bit. So, that's why you can't put in, furthermore for this, this hedge fund group, Tim, if they're buying a bunch of properties, I think that's going to have an impact on the number of postings that keep on, like the repost and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think that attributes to a little bit of it, at least 10%, because they're buying so many on the courthouse steps that there's not, I think even REO agents, they're like, hey, where's our inventory? And I think more and more this hedge fund is buying them on the courthouse steps. So it's going to affect the REO agents to a degree, and I think it's going to affect the numbers.
Yeah, so Randy wants to know, George, is there shadow inventory?
Oh yeah, there's definitely shadow inventory. You can see that from the number of properties that go back to the banks versus the number of properties that get placed back on the market. Percent, honestly, I think that at least 30%, at least. Because I look at it from the Struckoff report, I see that 400 properties were taken back by the lender. Now, that's what we found on the courthouse steps, Randy. We saw 400. Now, some of those, they were rescinded because, the homeowner filed bankruptcy the day of the auction, and so it really wasn't, even though we marked it down as an REO or went back to the bank, it really didn't. But, I'm only seeing 100. If I consistently see the banks going back, they're taking back 400 a month, and they're only putting 100 or 150 on the market each month, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that they're holding some back. And there's shadow inventory. And part of that is they don't want to, depends on who you ask, but they didn't want to flood the market with all of the foreclosures because they felt like that would really hurt, the real estate industry or the real estate market if they just flooded it. So they just kind of drifted out a little bit, but I think the inventory is pretty low. I mean, if you look at absorption rates, and I think for the most part, there's not as much. I think the product or the inventory has been reduced by at least 50% in the last 12 months, meaning you don't have near the supply that you had 12 months ago. And so I think that the banks are going to start releasing more and not holding them back, because they feel like the market, at least in Dallas, can sustain it or absorb it without having a huge negative effect.
So what do you think about home prices? You think, oh, they're going to go up, going to go down, going to stay
flat? I think if REOs start, if there's less REOs and there's less product on the ground, prices are going to go up. I mean, it's just simple economics. If there's not as much supply and you have the same amount of demand, prices are going to go up. And I feel like, we don't have, I mean, it's been trending where the supply of active sales has been, there's been more sales and more people are buying, and there's less REO product to pull down the values, Tim. Because I think that banks are, that more properties in the last 3 months have been bought on the courthouse steps, and those aren't going to the banks. Those are going to this investors, and they're not showing up. And that's not a product that is going to pull down, especially when they're turning them into rental properties. So you don't have these short sales and these REO sales to bring down the values, and I think that will help values.
That's good stuff right there. Jaime's saying, what else has changed in the new direct mail?
All right, what did you say? Jaime said what?
He said, what else will change in the new direct mail portal? Jaime, if you look at the overview that I sent out earlier today, it pretty much sums it up. I mean, it just goes over everything. It's just a different look and feel. There's some price differences to adjust for the postage increase from last January, but overall, I mean, when I say price differences, like maybe a penny. Overall, it's just got an easier look and feel. It flows better. Now, you guys that were on the call with me yesterday, you realize that we had a little bit of an issue, but that was because I was asking it to do some pretty advanced things. I was trying to make it merge my list and use multiple templates and process multiple orders. And I was doing that because someone will try to do it, and inevitably that'll be the person that complains, is the person that can't do something advanced. So, it'll work because we'll get it fixed. But other than that, there's no charge for active Flip That Contract students. So I say that. So if you're part of the older class, the July of last year class, then you're fine. Nothing changes because you guys paid a whole lot more for this thing than the newer classes. If you're part of the June class from this year, you're fine. Now, if you're part of the October, January, December, Expo, or March classes, and you're not currently paying monthly, you will have to pay monthly to Flip That Contract to access Investor Direct Mail. If you choose not to do that, then you can simply access direct mail as the general public will by paying $9.97 a month with a $97 account setup fee. It is what it is. So, question, for states that do tax lien auctions with a redemption period, do you have any suggestions on the type of direct mail piece to use and the frequency pattern? Also, is this a good list to work? My initial thought is no, because this is for wholesalers, but George?
I would say...
I'm going to reread it. I'm going to reread it. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, tax liens, look, I only have information for Texas. I don't know. There's tax deed states, there's tax lien states, but, I mean, here in Texas, you should, you need to do, these are distressed sellers, so you need to hit them twice in 1 month. Hit them on 18 and 11. 18 days before the auction and 11 days before the auction. And you use IDM to do that. And just send out the We Buy Houses. My answer pretty much for everybody is use the basic black and white We Buy Houses. If they want to sell, they want to sell. If they don't, they don't. Get to the point, put your glamour shot picture on there, and get in front of them twice before the auction.
Hey, listen to this, George. I've changed you a little bit over a year.
What?
You used to love your color, but you just said your answer's just a basic black and white. I feel as if I've changed you.
You converted me. I get more bang for my dollar. So,
amen.
Yeah.
Jim, I don't think the elections will have anything to do with home prices. I mean, that's just what the media tells people, in my opinion. George, do you have any thought on that?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. Look, I mean, you can't go with everything you hear from CNN and stuff like that. I mean, Texas, we're in a bubble. I mean, we don't go up, we don't go down that much. You know, our variance is 5% maybe. So, you know, whatever happens, we've got some pretty good industries here, and I might be wrong. I mean, we've had SNL and we've scandals and stuff like that, but we don't get too aggressive. You know, our values don't go up enough to scare me.
Yeah, and I mean, heck, you know, it's so spread out, and you've got such a leapfrog market that if prices get out of whack, there's no geographic restrictions keeping someone from just going 10 miles away and buying a farm field and building there. I mean,
yeah.
You know, that's why. I mean, and I mean, heck, it's just like you said, it's a great place to live. McKinney just got ranked number 2 in the nation of places to live by Money Magazine.
Wow.
What about short sales? Do you think as they become more streamlined that there will be a big shift toward this? I don't think anything that has to do with the big bank will ever be streamlined, no matter what someone says in a press conference.
Yeah. Anytime you get banks involved, it's slow.
What's the best way to get a lender to bypass filing a deficiency judgment? What paperwork would we need? I would say there's no best way, because they're going to do what they need to do, because that deficiency judgment is the way they write it off on their taxes. George?
Yeah. I mean, it kind of depends on, you can file, I mean, a deficiency judgment, you know, can be offset by filing some paperwork, some insolvency paperwork, that you're insolvent. So, hey, hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
I got to jump on this other line. I'll be back.
Okay. What you got, folks? Does it matter what time of the month we send out a direct mail postcards? Yes, 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 and yes, and yes. Okay, so like in the webinar yesterday, I placed 13,000 cards as an order. And I did it yesterday, late in the afternoon, because my goal is that they not ship out until after the holiday weekend. Because I don't want them to hit mailboxes until after the holiday weekend mail, because no one is going to check their mail this weekend. Why would they? I mean, it's just I don't want them to hit. I don't want them to hit on Tuesday either, because then they get stuck in half of Saturday's mail, all of Sundays, and all of Mondays. So they're just, these little cards will just be floating there with, you know, doing nothing. So, sorry about that, guys. I thought I had this thing turned off. I'll fix it. So, you need to mail, your postcards need to hit the mail the first Friday of every month, unless it's a holiday weekend. So, this month, my goal is to have them hit the mailboxes starting on Wednesday, and so it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday when they hit. what are my plans for the next REI Expo? January 26th and 27th in Dallas, Texas. But it's not actually Dallas, Texas. The next expo will be at the Hearst Conference Center in Hearst, Texas, and we'll have 500 people there. What about non-holiday weekends? I mean, you can't control what, Cheryl, Joanne, you can't control what day it gets there. You can just try to drop it on a Monday or Tuesday knowing that it's going to get there on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, etc. I always try to get it there the first Friday of the month because there's a bunch of bills in the mail that day. You get your bills between the 1st and the 5th. The first full week of the month is typically when you get your bills. So for me, if say Friday was the 1st, like it was in June, then I would want to just drop my mail the first week of June. Any more questions?
I'm back, by the way.
Yeah, I heard you. I think we're out of questions.
Wow.
All right, George, you got any announcements or anything you want to talk about?
No?
Me neither. All right, well, let's end this and go buy houses.
Go. Control real estate. That's the theme of the weekend. Control real estate.
That's what it is. Well, no, this weekend the theme is to enjoy the holiday for me and take any call that comes in. So Cheryl, yes, Cheryl, I'm in town. Well, I'm not in town all of September actually, Cheryl. I'll be in Phoenix the week of the 21st and Orlando the week of the 28th.
Whoa.
Getting the list this week today. Hopefully, should I get them out ASAP? Yes, because if you place your order right now, they would not ship until Tuesday, and that'd be perfectly fine. Okay, guys, trying to do better at having some questions ready.
Well, they probably asked them all last week. See? We double dipped them, and so they're just not ready for us. They need usually 2 weeks before they can generate questions. Maybe? No?
I guess.
Okay.
I could sit.
All right.
I could sit here and ask you questions.
Yeah, that's true.
But that would be boring to me.
There you go.
If I got to talk to you,
right.
talk about other stuff. So until the next time, this is Tim Harridge.
And George Roddy.
Later, Gators.